Chase has one of the most popular, powerful, and beginner-friendly credit card reward systems in the entire industry. But if you don't understand how to use the points properly, you could be missing out on thousands of dollars worth in value, which the rewards are pretty much free because the money you're spending on these cards, you would already be spending otherwise. That said, before we dive deep into using Chase points, you first need to understand how to earn the points. Now, Chase has many different ways that you can earn the points, but the most rewarding in the shortest period of time is going to be a new sign-up bonus, which means if you meet the requirements of spending a certain amount of money within the first few months of opening up the account, you'll be able to get anywhere from a $200 bonus to $750 and above, depending on how you utilize the points, which you'll understand by the end of this video. But other areas you can earn points is from just spending the card on anything. The first Chase card that comes to thought with this is the Freedom Unlimited, which is an all-around card where you can earn bonus points from any purchases, with it starting at 1.5% back, and you can get additional bonus opportunities from other categories. But speaking of bonus opportunities, they're not going to be as good as the Freedom Flex card, because that is going to be an additional 5% bonus toward different select categories every 3 months. After that, you can look into the Inc. business credit cards, where you can use for any related business expenses. The points you can earn with these depend on the type of card you have, because there are multiple options you could pursue, but the nicest thing is you can keep your business expenses separate from your personal. Or another option, which is the most rewarding one, is a Sapphire card that I'm going to be mentioning later in the video, where you can get tremendous travel opportunities by having this card. For those that don't have a Sapphire card or just don't know about this, you can combine your points from any of the Chase credit cards, and you can put that into a Sapphire card where you have all your points there that you can then use to maximize the value of your points, which I'll be covering on later in the video. Besides that, you can also earn additional points from referring a friend or shopping through Chase's travel portal. To see this from your Chase account, you're gonna have to go to the Ultimate Rewards portal, and then you're gonna want to click on Shopping Experiences. Then if you go into Shop and Earn Points, you're gonna see all the featured deals and opportunities where you can earn your points from the online stores. For those interested to learn more on all the ways to earn points from the Ultimate Rewards portal, you can click on Rewards Details, then Ways to Earn, where it's going to show you all the ways you can earn points for that specific card. Or you can click on Card Benefits, where they show in great detail everything you can earn with the specific card. But I will say the largest amount of points you're going to be able to earn from any of the opportunities is that new sign-up bonus. So what I highly recommend before getting any Chase credit card is you make sure you can actually get that spending amount within the first few months. For example, if you were to get the Sapphire Preferred card, you would get 60,000 bonus points if you spent $4,000 in the first 3 months from opening up the account. And if you're confident you can reach that amount, the 60,000 bonus points could be well worth over $1,000 worth of value. The last thing I'm going to mention about the Chase point system is if you see cash back or a percentage back, that's not going to be given as actual cash to you. That's going to be given in rewards points through Chase on your account. So now that you understand that, let's go over how to use your Chase points, with the first being the cashback opportunity. With Chase, the cashback option is going to be the baseline and comparing how valuable your points are going to be worth to the other options you can do. So let's just say you had 100,000 points and you wanted to do the cashback offer so you could use it for withdrawing or doing anything that you wanted with it. You would be getting a fixed rate of 1 cent per point. And just so you can get a visual on how exactly this works, if you had 100,000 points and you were going to get it at 1 cent per point, that means you would take 100,000 points times 1 cent, which would be $1,000. Because I know this may seem confusing, think of it like this. The expected amount of value you are expected to get, you want to divide that by the expected amount of points it would take to get that. So if you were expected to get $1,000, that means you would divide it by the total points it would take you to actually get that value. So to see a visual on this, you would be taking $1,000 and dividing that by 100,000 points, which if you do the math equals 1 cent per point. Before I move on to other options, this is crucial that you understand the value of the points and how it works. So if you had $2,000 worth of value that you were expected to get on 100,000 points, that means you would be getting 2 cents per point. So that's actually really good, but let's say you were gonna get $800 worth of value for using 100,000 points. That means you would be getting $800 divided by 100,000 points. That is 0.8 cents per point. So that's obviously much worse if you can easily just get 1-for-1 with a cash offer. So I'd avoid anything that could be that low that I'll show you later. But let's go on to how you can actually use the points and redeem them through Chase's site. Once you're on the site, you can click Ultimate Rewards on the side to enter the Ultimate Rewards portal that you're gonna need to see all of this information. And on the top of that, you can see reward details with a drop down to then click on ways to use your points. From here, you can scroll down and you can see, as I mentioned, the first one, you can see that your 100,000 points are worth $1,000 when you redeem it. Another cash equivalent option that you could do is to pay yourself back, which means any individual purchases that you've already used on your card, you would be able to pay them off with points at the same cashback opportunity. So that's a traditional 1 cent per point value, but you can also see they have select promotions where you can get an additional 25% more points if you use select charities such as American Red Cross or Feeding America. So that's the simplest approach you could take to redeeming your points. Let's continue on by now going over gift cards. As you can see from the page, gift cards are right above the cashback option, where you can see 100,000 points would be worth $1,000 when you redeem them. So if we go back to the calculations, that means that $1,000 worth of value that we'd be getting from 100,000 points would be equivalent to 1 cent per point in value. But that is just the traditional cashback option. If we go to the website, you can see shop gift cards, and then you can see certain opportunities where you can achieve better value for your points. For example, the first offer you can see right here on sale is Neiman Marcus, where you can get a $25 gift card for 2,125 points. Although this may seem a bit more complicated, if you just try to take this as simple as possible to calculate the actual value, think of it like the expected value, $25, divided by the total points it would take. $25 divided by 2,125 points. So if you do that, that means that getting this gift card would give you a 1.17 cent per point value, which is at least better than cash back. But it's definitely not worthy of using my points on. If you love a certain store and you need to get the gift card, that's up to you, but that's just something I would not put my points in. With that noted, let's now talk about an extremely important option you have to understand, and that is paying with points. As you can see, this one's listed right below the cashback option, where 100,000 points are worth $800 in value when you redeem them. That means if you were to spend your money on Amazon or PayPal, that you'd be getting among the worst value for your points. Now, if you are one who uses Amazon heavily, you could just get an Amazon credit card that is actually issued by Chase. And with the card, you can at least redeem your points for a 1 cent per point value, which is at least better. But unfortunately, you can't even combine your points from the Amazon card into any of the other Chase credit cards. But at least you can get 5% back on all Amazon and Whole Food purchases. But either way, now that you understand using your points on Amazon or PayPal are among the worst options you could do, let's now move on to going over shopping with points. From the rewards portal, if you click on shopping and experiences, you're going to see the drop-down menu that shows Shop Apple, Explore Dining, and Book an Experience. The first option is Chase partnering with Apple, where you can use your ultimate rewards points on the standard 1-to-1 point conversion. Now, they don't have any of these offers right now, but sometimes they have promotions where you can get up to 50% more in value from your points when you shop with the rewards through Apple. The second option you can do here is Chase Dining, where you can get $1,000 worth of value from 100,000 points, which is a 1 cent per point value. Through this, you can order takeout, browse exclusive reservations, or book experiences like different restaurants, wineries, and many other opportunities. But the value you're going to get from them is more so going to be a 1 cent per point value. So moving on to the third option that we're going to look at is booking an experience, which all the options currently available are a 1 cent per point value. I personally don't even take the time to look at these options because where I look with my points is going to be for travel redemption options, with the first going over is the Chase Travel Portal. From the Ultimate Rewards page, if you click on Book Travel, you'll be able to see different hotels, flights, and other activities, and the specific information you can put in for whatever you'd be interested in. The most important thing here to know is that any typical Chase credit card is going to give you a 1 cent per point value if you book through this travel portal, but if you have the Sapphire Preferred, you're going to be able to get a 1.25 cents per point guaranteed, and then the Sapphire Reserve is going to be a 1.5 cent per point value, which is much better. Now, before you think that offer is too good to be true, there are ways where you can get 2 to 3 cents per point and above using the next section I'm going to show you in a second. But as you can see right here, that means that if you had the Sapphire Preferred, the card that I currently have, 100,000 points would be equivalent to $1,250 worth of value. And then if you were the travel enthusiast going for the Sapphire Reserve, which is one that I am definitely going to be upgrading soon, you would be able to get $1,500 worth of value from 100,000 points. So a real world example on how this would work with the Sapphire Preferred, the one that gets a 1.25 cent per point value, if we were to look at a round trip from Orlando to New York, that would be $177 with cash. But with the Sapphire Preferred card, you would be able to get that for roughly 14,000 points. If we were to take the exact amounts just to check that we're actually getting this guaranteed rate that we're supposed to get with this card, that would be $177 divided by 14,000 points, which would be equivalent to 1.25 cents per point of value. But another really nice part about this is that there's generally going to be no additional fees when you do this through the travel portal. So that's the benefits of using the travel portal in a nutshell. Let's now go on to the last option where you can get potentially 2 to 3 cents and above per point in value when using the transfer partners of Chase. Now, in order to benefit from this, you are going to need a Sapphire card, whether that be the Sapphire Preferred, the Ink Business Preferred, or the Sapphire Reserve. So with that, from the Ultimate Rewards page, you can click on Travel and then Transfer to Partners. From here, the points that you have can be on a 1-to-1 ratio with any of the partners that Chase has, with the most popular ones being British Airways, Air France, Iberia, Southwest, United Airlines, Virgin Atlantic, and Hyatt. But on this page, you'll also notice there's promotions that you can get that come in and out from different companies, but with them, you can earn bonus points when you transfer your Chase points to that specific company. But before you actually transfer any points, make sure you do your research and you understand exactly how much you are going to be transferring over and that you can for sure get it, because once you transfer the points to that partner, you're not going to be able to transfer them back to Chase. And on top of that, just be aware that many of these transfer partners may require you to pay additional fees on top of the use of points. Although most of the fees are usually small, the next one's actually not, and let's move on to it by now going over how to maximize the value of your points by first using an international flight example. Of the partnered companies with Chase, the most popular ones to get the best deals when it comes to international flights is going to be Air France, Iberia, and Virgin Atlantic. And if you can keep some flexibility with your trips, you're going to have a much easier process actually getting this to work well. So to start, let's just say that you are living in Chicago right now and you want to go to Spain, specifically Madrid. The first thing I do and what I'd recommend is going to Google search and looking up specific flights and then changing the times, because it will allow you to see many different options of flights that are going on around that time. When doing this, you can see the starting prices for all the flights and you can easily change the time frame to whatever you want. To keep things simple, the cheapest option you can see here is $572, but after searching into that, $572 is actually the most basic option where you don't even get a checked bag. So because majority of you would want that for an international flight, let's go through multiple options that I researched, where the first one is going through Air Canada's website, with the first ticket to Spain being $361, but to get back, it's going to be over $1,000, coming down to a total cost that would be $1,785 for the round way ticket. But it's really important that you look at other options, because when I looked through United, the cheapest option was actually $860. Then I looked through Iberia's website, where you can see the tickets were $810. And just so I could show you exactly what popped up on the Chase travel portal, you can see for Air Canada and United Airlines, they both came to be around $770 for a standard economy ticket, where if you use the preferred card, you would be able to get that for 62,000 points at that 1.25 cents per point value. All right, so of the best options to pay cash, Iberia's $810 value, I believe, would be the best one, so I'm going to use that as the baseline for this example. The first option I looked at was Air Canada's website using the points, and for the entire round trip, it would cost 116,000 points. Be aware of this, because if we take the expected value of what we could get from Iberia, that is $810 for this trip, where if we took that and divided it by the total points we'd be expected to pay on Air Canada's website instead, if we went that route, it would be 116,000 points, so that offer would actually be equivalent to a 0.7 cent per point value, which is worse than Amazon and PayPal's. The next option for the standard economy ticket would be through Iberia's website, that equates to 48,000 points plus an additional $228. By taking this offer, the expected difference on the cash you would have to be paying would be $810 minus $228. That is equivalent to $582. So if you took the $582 and divided it by the 48,000 points, that equates to a 1.21 cent per point value, which is still not good enough compared to what the Sapphire Preferred or Reserve can do through the Chase travel portal when it comes to value. But where it gets interesting with these flights is that many of the times you can get a lot of value back when you book flying with business. So for the royalties of the business perks, such as the comfortable seating, which for someone like me, that is an amazing perk to have, while also getting that first class experience, 2 checked bags, and other exclusive offers. It may seem even crazy to think business class if you've never done it before, but the points it would take to actually do this would be 50,000 points each way, which equates to 100,000 points and an additional $293. Yes, that's a lot of points, but for a long distance trip like this, that may be well worth it for you. Because if you actually look at the price that it would cost you to actually get these tickets if you paid cash, it would be $3,643. That means the total value of your points would be 3.35 cents per point. That's really good, and if you are one interested in that, that would be a great way to get value from your points, where to get that kind of value for domestic flights will be a bit harder to get. With that said, let me now go over a hotel example where you can get great value at a very easy way to search, and that is through the world of Hyatt. Now, among Chase's partners, Hyatt's going to be among the best option when it comes to staying at hotels, looking through their website, and all around getting the best deals for your stays. One that I found is an all-inclusive offer through the Dreams Golf and Spa Resort near Cancun, Mexico, where you can see the option to get an ocean view suite for 39,000 points a night that literally has a private hot tub on a furnished terrace. With a suite like this and all the inclusive resort benefits, this is going to be among one of the best vacation experiences you could probably get. Now, maybe not that hotel because I haven't been there and I can't suggest it for you, but if you were to get that kind of suite paying cash, you would have to actually pay $1,500 per night. But with the option of using the points, there's no additional fees. So if you want to look at the value of using your points for this instead of cash, that means that we'd be taking the expected cash value that we'd have to pay, $1,494, dividing that by the 39,000 points that we'd have to use to get that value, and that means that we'd be getting a 3.85 cents per point value. If you did not know about this and you just use your points for a cash offer, that 39,000 points would be equivalent to only $390. So good luck finding a place like that worth $390. Moving on, if you were to stay at this resort for a 4-night stay, that means it would be roughly $6,000 or 156,000 points. And if you want to view the cash offer that you could have taken on a 1 cent per point value, that means that 156,000 points would only give you $1,560 worth of cash. So if you're gonna plan flights or hotels in the future, I'd recommend using those points for that specific purpose where you can get the most value from them. Being aware of this is huge because if you did not know this, you would have to be spending cash on all your flights and hotels, which can add up significantly. And don't forget the points that you can get with Chase are all pretty much free because you can get welcome bonuses, you can get referrals, you can use them from already spending a card on things you'd already be spending money on otherwise. And if you didn't know from the example, an all-inclusive resort means that you get unlimited food and drinks, even alcohol. So if you were looking into hotels and you want to use the points, I highly recommend looking at Hyatt's because it is among the easiest to filter out, look at different options, and compare your points versus the cash offers. So with that said, here are all the things you need to be aware of with the Chase point system. For starters, you can earn points in many ways, but the most significant amount you'll get in a short period of time is through a new card's welcome bonus. Besides that, if you understand the cards you have, you may be able to get a lot of points back because something like the Freedom Flex this past quarter gave 7% back on all restaurant purchases. When it comes to using your points, understand that if you use your points for Amazon or PayPal, that you are getting the worst value with your points, and to get the maximum value on your points, aim to use your points with Chase Travel redemption options, specifically the transfer partners. And the last thing to be aware of is just know that you are not guaranteed to be able to use your points on any specific flights or hotels, so don't get any hopes up that the exact one is going to for sure allow you to at a good deal. With that said, if you're interested in getting any new credit cards or want to see my favorite ones, check out the link I have in the description below for you, and it also helps me out and is greatly appreciated. Besides that, I'll also leave relevant Chase credit card videos that I've created in the description below, as well as a free credit card for beginners guide that I think you should really check out. And as always, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this.